we're all human. We're all going through the shit. We all have life to deal with, and business, as many people say, is like the most intense personal development journey you'll ever go on, because it brings all of your shit up to the surface to deal with, all your insecurities, all your fears, all your doubts, all the, everything comes to the surface and gets triggered in some way or another. And that's like, yeah, just being able to support people through those phases. And also on the flip side, being able to know that like, okay, what I'm going through is normal. It's normal, and we're all gonna make it through it. Like, that's also the thing that I've seen is like, everybody's made it through it. We're all gonna make it through it. Even though it feels super mucky and like, ugh, in the moment, like, I guarantee you're going to make it through it, because I've seen it time and time and time and time again. As long as you keep putting that one foot in front of the other, whatever that looks like, it might be the tiniest little step, but as long as you're taking a step, like, you're going to get through it. So yeah, it feels like a gift to support people through that, and a gift to receive that wisdom that it's all good. It's all good, really, in the grand scheme of things.
Welcome to the Osumare Learning Podcast, where genius is celebrated, joy is the catalyst, and we learn most deeply by teaching what lights us up. I'm Parshel Osumare, executive learning producer, curriculum designer, and former high school math teacher, and lover of all things wisdom.
And I'm Portia Michelle Osumare, client experience designer, business coach, joy strategist, and a lifelong learner of the sacred and the strategic. Together, we're excavating wisdom from our brightest and most brilliant friends and partners, gaining insight that transform how we learn and how we teach in today's world.
So join us as we offer insights, community wisdom, and unique perspectives on experiential learning. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the Osumare Learning Podcast.
Oh, are we singing?
We don't have a song, but
okay.
I'm trying something on. At some point, somebody will be singing. Or
manifest that. We're calling that in.
Spoken word to our podcast opening. How you doing today, Portia?
Hello, good people. I'm doing well, Parshel. Thank you for joining the Osumare Learning Podcast. I am also manifesting somebody to sing us a theme song, like a little thank you for being a friend or something. I could see it for us. Man, you asked me how I'm doing. I'm gonna be honest. It's been a day. I am so excited to be here. This is one of the highlights of my day. The call that we had right before this was so good. The clients be making my day, truly like saving my life. But I spent like at least an hour and a half on the phone with a bank. Some of the things formed against me are prospering just a little bit. But I am resolute that sometimes it's just a day. And then like the first half of the day, I'm committed that the second half of the day be less shitty than the first half of the day, because the first half of the day was kind of shitty. But it's been a really good week, I would say, overall, for sure. How are you?
Doing really well. I just was telling our guests before we start recording that I've been practicing just being in my body and listening to that more and more. So
go ahead,
that's
body.
been good. Yes, body, yada yada. And I am so delighted. So I am a father now, and
I love this so much.
But I'm also a father, and I'm also a Lillard, all the things. But I got some photos from your mom that are so adorable. So they're moving out of their house and found these pictures of Portia, like with a baseball bat. Like that's the one that for me right now is just like so vivid, and I'm loving it. So
love that I'm finding out about it on the podcast. That's great.
I was like, I don't think she's seen these pictures yet, but this is great. All the old photo album pictures are giving me life today. I needed it.
That is hilarious. That is so funny. I'm glad. I'm glad they're giving you life. My mom also sent me a award from my high school where apparently in 2002 I was the #1 fundraiser for the choir. Apparently I got a plaque for it. I was like, they're giving out plaques for that. I have zero recollection of receiving this plaque, but my mom has the actual plaque. Literally sent me that picture. That's hilarious.
We're going down memory lane here.
Back down memory lane. That's funny. That's making my day. Look, second half of the day is already getting better.
Truly. Well, I'm excited for our guest today.
Same.
Excited. Just to kind of tease the topic a little bit, we are talking about embodiment.
Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all. Things that I'm excited about. So, I love getting into this conversation, particularly with Jennifer. I'm so excited that you guys are going to having this conversation with Jennifer today. because I just think that most of us understand some of these concepts conceptually, but don't really walk this talk. And I'm very, very excited to get to talk to one of my best friends about this, and somebody who's been walking the walk next to me of holding entrepreneurs in their stuff for at least like 6 years. So y'all listen in. This is going to be a particularly interestingly good one. Let me not be saying too much. This isn't even the teaser portion. I'm just excited.
Well, what we're going to do to introduce our guests is actually bring them on and have them start by answering some fun get to know you questions. So we'll start there. We'll bring in, read her bio so you have the full picture of this person, and then we'll bring her onto the show officially.
Okay, hold on one sec. Pause for the edits. Jennifer, do you have a fan or an air conditioner on?
I do.
I can hear a little bit of like in the background. Sometimes when you have a good camera, now it's picking up everything. The Zoom is canceling nothing out.
Gotcha. Okay. I might get sweaty, but here we are.
Thank you for your sacrifices.
I might leave like peeling layers off here, but we're
fine. It's a different kind of show all of a sudden. Okay. That's actually, let me see. Is that better for you, Parshall?
Yeah, that's great.
That is
okay.
better. Okay.
Perfect.
It's picking up every little thing. Okay. We'll pop back in with some of our get to know you questions.
Yes.
Okay. Jennifer. Okay. So we have a little round of rapid fire get to know you questions. They will start off kind of light and then maybe get a little bit more vulnerable, I would say. Now, I feel like we're going to take a lot of time to get to know you and get to know your expertise. To me, this is our option to get to know you for real. So these to me are the things that help me really know a person. So are you ready for some questions?
I'm ready to bare my soul here on the Osumare podcast.
I appreciate it. And I would say, feel free to say the thing that comes up first. Like they could be very quick. And the last time we did this, someone was really thinking about them. I was like, don't think that deep. Okay.
Got you. Okay.
First things first, desert sunsets or beach sunsets?
Beach sunsets, 100%.
Ah, fantastic. What's your favorite kind of nature at the moment?
Lakes and trees.
Tell me why lakes.
I love an ocean. Like, I love the expansiveness of an ocean, but I also love like the intimacy of a lake. Like, it's contained, it's got its own energy, and like all of the life around it. I just love that. Yeah, the trees, the wisdom, all of that. It's like its own little ecosystem.
I love that. Parshall and I were just found a random lake out in like the border between Nevada and Arizona, and I literally did feel that. I was like, we're in our own little like canyon contained, but it was a big body of water. I've never thought about it like that. That's great. Okay.
I don't know that I've ever thought about it like that either, so I love that. I'm like, why do I love lakes? That would be why. Yeah.
It also reminds me, like, you're totally from a place where lakes is a thing. Like, I'm like, you are from Minnesota, aren't you?
I'm from the land of 10,000 lakes is the slogan of Minnesota. So yeah.
That would explain it. Okay, raising the heat slightly a bit more. Do you wear pants on Zoom?
I wear usually shorts. So does that count? Like, I have bottoms on. Not like commando, but yeah, usually not pants. I'm usually in shorts.
Fantastic. That's a very good answer. I've been telling people I'm straight Winnie the Pooh in it 90% of the time. Like, if there are bottoms besides underwears on, that's rare. Like, it's usually fully dressed, belly button up, nothing else.
Totally. And I'm like, I will say my shorts never matte. Like, I don't care what it looks like down there. They could be like the gardening shorts, whatever. It's all good. But yeah, as long as I'm presentable from like here on up, that's all that matters. Yep.
That says so much about you, though, that like, but there's definitely shorts on. But I'm definitely wearing something. But it doesn't necessarily have to also be to match. I love, again, it says so much. This is the real, and the entrepreneurs know. Okay, turning it up slightly more. You are walking into a Costco, regardless of what you're there for. What's the first thing that you're buying or the thing you're not leaving without?
My gosh, it's been forever since I've been in a Costco.
I know.
Let me try to remember what it's like in Costco. I think the first thing I'm going for are the food samples.
Very good. Very good answer.
What am I not leaving without? Oh man, probably like a kitchen item that I don't need. That's what I'm leaving without. That's what I'm definitely not leaving without. Something that I saw in the aisle, something that I definitely don't need. That's what I'm gonna buy.
Okay. Let's see. Last question. you're at a drive-through that you know you're not supposed to be at. What is the drive-through and what is the food you're ordering?
First of all, I'm with my sunglasses on, my baseball cap, so nobody can recognize me. And it's definitely In-N-Out. Definitely In-N-Out, double, animal fries, like, yes. Chocolate
Okay. I love the guest of the Osumare Learning Podcast. This is 3 for 3. When I've asked people this question, their answer has been In-N-Out. In-N-Out for the people.
It's the best. Oh my gosh. And they don't have them in the Midwest. So like, as I, out here, like they're missing out over there. I didn't know.
I also feel like an In-N-Out drive-through as like the naughty drive-through also says a lot about how you're caring for yourself, which I appreciate because I consider In-N-Out to be on like healthy drive-through.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it could be worse.
Like it's real potatoes. Like you can see them slice it. Like it's, yep.
There we go.
Yeah, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better about that choice.
You're in great company there. You're in great company. Okay, thank you for allowing us to have our get to know you questions. Parshal, tell us who this magical woman is in front of us so that I can ask all the questions.
All right, y'all. Jennifer Bohn is a multi-passionate health and wellness guide with over 20 years of experience in body, mind, and energy-based modalities. She empowers people to break free from restrictive societal norms and reconnect to their own body's innate wisdom. Her clients get to feel real-time shifts in their body through experiential modalities such as embodiment practices, neurosomatic techniques, nervous system regulation, meditation, breathwork, and more. Jennifer believes that when people develop a strong, loving, trusting relationship with their bodies, BFF style, vibrant health naturally follows.
Yes,
Let's get ready to learn from Jennifer. Welcome to the Osumare Learning Podcast.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. I have been looking forward to this conversation like for weeks. I love y'all. I love both of y'all. So excited.
I'm so stoked to have you here. And y'all are going to hear me geek out so much on this podcast. Jennifer is literally like a twin to me. I think in so many ways, we have had the strangest, most serendipitously aligned journey for so long. And then when we like found one another, it literally feels like a kindred spirit, quite literally. And, one of the things I love about Jennifer so much, you guys are going to get to know her so much more, but Jennifer is like salt of the earth heart. And every time I'm in her presence, I feel like more of myself. And that's how I know a good coach also. And what I love so much about the bio that Parshal just read is that Jennifer is one of those people who walks the talk. 20 years of experience is 20 years of experience. And I think that there's an interesting level with which you bring, my love, that is so grounded. I'm all for the people who got the certifications and did the thing and are the visionary minds that have, the futuristic idea of the reality that we're going to. But there's something about those of us on the bottom who live in the lived wisdom every day of what it was like to get the reps in that I think Jennifer really brings to the conversation, really brings to the work. There's this level of I've walked your shoes and I'm here to stand with you in it, that I think that has been such a blessing to get to know you and get to experience your work in, my darling. I adore you. Thank you for being here and having this conversation with us. We're so excited.
I wish we were in real life, giving you a soul hug right now. I adore you too. And yeah, in so many of our conversations, it's the running joke of we are the same person. Literally, it's so much in common. It is absolute soul kindred vibes for sure. So thank you for, I think what I love so much about you is you're so beautiful. You're such a beautiful reflection to me. And you always, whenever I hear you talk about me, I'm like, oh, really? Thank you. Thank you for that. So, yeah.
And you're so welcome. Well, speaking of that, so I always find it so funny because I feel like Jennifer and I really found one another at these very interesting transition points, I think, in both of our lives. And I was literally telling her before we got on this channel, one, we would love to know kind of, a little bit about you and where you came from and how you arrived at the work of embodiment, because I know that there was such a journey there. So tell us a little bit about that journey and tell us a little bit about how you landed in embodiment by the time I had met you.
Whew, yeah, such a journey. I think my journey with embodiment, or honestly disembodiment, not being embodied, was most of my life. Most of my life was completely disconnected from my body, always trying to control my body in some way, deep into the diet culture and just, needing to look a certain way, getting so deep into all of the, there's a new fad diet every other week. And like, I was on that train, and it was absolutely frustrating and toxic and all the things. So that was a lot of it. And then I moved out to California from Minnesota when I was 19, and I got into the rave scene. I got deep into that. And it really, I was such a painfully shy kid growing up. And when I discovered all of the, extracurricular activities that go along with raves, I was like, I came out, like I could talk to people and I felt so good. And it just put me down a spiral of addiction. I was deep into, alcohol, drugs, all the things for a good 15 years, probably. Until right when I met you, like when our paths crossed, I was very newly sober. And that's when I found embodiment. That was when it was, all of the serendipitous things that happened, that was the catalyst for me and my partner getting sober. It made me realize I didn't realize how disconnected I was from my body. And I think I see that in so many people that we don't even know what we don't know, right? Like, we're not taught to connect with our bodies. We're taught actually the opposite from a very young age, to not pay attention to our bodies, to just produce, to, be up in our head, be productive, be, that way in society, like be a doer. And we just kind of cut ourselves off from the neck down. So, emotions, I was definitely not one to be feeling emotions that were not like the positive, happy vibe. I just didn't go there, and just, numbed out all of the things. So that was a good portion of my life until I was about 39, almost 6 years ago. I got sober and found embodiment through a coach that I started working with, and she introduced me to embodiment for the first time, which was just literally putting a song on and moving to it. And I was like, okay, I've been dancing my whole life. Like, I love music. I love to dance. But embodiment in this way of using music to access the deeper feelings, access all of the things that I had buried and pushed down for, decades. It was life-changing for me. It's so hard to just thinking back to that time in my life. I was like, wow, I've been missing out on so much of life, by only feeling this little piece of the emotional spectrum, And so being able to access so much more just allowed me to show up for myself in a much deeper way. It allowed me to show up in my relationships. I was always very, kept things very surface level. Don't be asking me too many questions. Don't be getting too deep. I will keep you at arm's length. And, just feeling that disconnection from myself, from my body, from other people. So finding this embodiment work and really accessing my emotions and my body, working with my nervous system, all of that, it's just enriched literally every single part of my life. Every single part of my life has gotten exponentially better since I found this work. So.
Oh my gosh. And you just said so many things there. And again, I think that may also be why I always feel from you such a walked talk. It's I find that, when you've had an enriched life, when we've lived a bit of life, I've had an equally colorful life in a variety of spaces. Yep. When you've lived a bit of life, it just makes it easier for you, when people show up with shit, you're like, oh, all right, it's Wednesday. It's not the world needs to turn. But I do think that the things that you're saying are so revolutionary in regards to the reality that we just don't get it. And I think that we're in a society and we're in a time where it's actually a lot of systems really benefit from you being disembodied. They benefit from you being disengaged and being disassociated. It's this concept of you got to kind of put your head down and live. But at the end of the day, when you're in your body, it actually is what aliveness really is, the experience of. I love so much about what you said there, and equally same. This is why we'd be the same. The other day I was literally sitting thinking about, there's so many things have changed, so many people in my life have shifted, and I'm I was always that person that I knew everything about everyone else, but no one knew anything about me. And then I had that insight of oh, that was on purpose, because I didn't want them to ask, because I didn't want to have to answer.
Yep.
I didn't want to have to sit with that. And so I think that it's so interesting that, so much of the work and the invitation to the work came from really sitting with yourself and really kind of, falling into that as a reality. It's so interesting. I love kind of that piece. By the time we got to sit with one another, I only kind of knew that you were coming into an entrepreneurial space. I know you had been a massage therapist for years. Tell me a little bit about kind of your entrepreneurial journey and where embodiment kind of landed there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have been a massage therapist, body worker for 20 years now. It was 20 years at the end of last year, and so that was much of my career before I met you was in massage. I started out in some different medical offices, a chiropractic office, a physical therapy office, worked with a lot of people there, and then after about 8 years I went out on my own. So the last 12 years I've been seeing clients at their homes. I go to their homes, and I just hung my massage hat up at the end of last year and fully going into this new evolution of my business. So it was about 15 years into doing massage. I just kind of felt this pull to an expansion of my work, I guess it would say. I was very much in the medical based, piece of body work, especially working in those kind of medical spaces. I saw a lot of people with injuries and all the things and rehab and all of that. And I started getting really curious about the deeper patterns of pain and the deeper patterns of how when we do suppress our emotions, how that our body stores it somewhere. It doesn't just disappear. It will make a home behind your shoulder blade, and then you're going to have chronic pain in your shoulder. And I had been seeing the same clients, for many, many years. Most of my clients have been with me for the whole entire 20 years, and just seeing them with the same things over and over. It was every single month that I would see them as the same thing again and again and again. And I'm they would get temporary relief, but there's something deeper here. So it just got me more interested in the emotional aspect of it, even though I was still at a place where I was completely avoiding my own emotions. I was I'll dive into everybody else's emotions.
Always. Is that not always us? The cobbler never has any shoes. Here we are.
Totally. 100%. Yep. And then really just getting into the spirituality and just the energetics of our body, and just widening my scope outside of just the anatomy, and physiology of the body. And we are so much more, we are that mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic body, and it all works holistically together. So I just started getting more and more interested, started taking more certifications, going deeper into things. And again, I found breath work. I found the embodiment work right around 2018, 2019, which I think is when we met, was around the 2019-ish era. And so I was just dabbling in that, and then just kind of trying to find my way. I've always been very much into health and wellness, and I was I love this coaching thing. I had gotten introduced to different coaching, communities. I didn't even know that was a thing until, then. And I'm I feel like I've actually been doing this for a long time. I've been coaching all of my massage clients. They tell me their life story on the table, and I'm there holding space for them and, offering guidance or support, whatever they're needing in the moment. I was maybe this is the next trajectory for me. So then I, got into the world where we met in that coaching space, I started in that space, me wanting to learn how to be an entrepreneur and how to, start my own coaching business and all of that, and ended up kind of in roles where I was a support for the people in the containers, which has been such a wild ride and so soul satisfying. I love that work of being that space where entrepreneurs, other people that are just, leading from their heart, bringing their soul purpose to life, being that space. It's a hard journey. It is a fucking challenge, and to be that space where I can just be that kind of safe space for someone to land and just be able to tell the real, whatever is happening in their day, in their month, whatever, is going on in their business and how that affects them and their personal life and all of that. And just being able to hold them in that and support them through that, through various different, modalities. And most of the time it's just listening. Most of the time it's just holding that space and letting them speak what's going on. Yeah, that's kind of been the trajectory. Now, like I said, end of last year, I officially ended massage for now. I never say never. I may go back to it in the future. Who knows? But for now, I'm really wanting to bring my own, this next evolution of my soul's work, which is through Heart Shine Alchemy and doing this embodiment work with mostly with entrepreneurs, because that's who I love working with. So, yeah. Been an evolution. It has been a journey. That is for sure.
And it's the funniest thing, right, to talk about that piece, because it's so interesting how you and I have always connected, because it's always been like, we're working on so many other people's businesses that we now have to do our own business. We're like, damn. It's like,
yes.
Shit. Like, I guess I have to like do my own business thing. But I think that it comes from both of us being the kind of people who were service oriented first. Like, we're like, where is the need and where can we fill it? And oftentimes we kind of have to find our own need to then, be able to support ourselves. But I want to talk a little bit about what it is to support entrepreneurs, because I promise you, y'all, this is why I'm like, I can't wait for this conversation, because Jennifer and I have been in the trenches. I don't think that even most entrepreneurs don't really get the kind of experience that we've had, where it's like you're in a container with somebody, holding them through a huge entrepreneurial expansion for usually anywhere between 6 months to a year, sometimes 2 or 3 years, depending on the person, and like walking them through the emotional and mental journey that it is to have a big expansion in your business. Because Jennifer and I did accountability coaching together for a while in containers. And, it is this interesting thought process that we would get, I always looked at it like, I would be given the gift of like 15 to 20, sometimes 50, sometimes 10, depending on size of container for that time frame, the gift of this little group of humans, who have invested in themselves time, money, and energy in wanting to up-level their business in some way, and they put themselves in some sort of coaching container to be able to do that, or they put themselves in a container to grow communities, because Jennifer and I did that for a while together, right? It's like a good amount of different ways of that, and it always felt like such an honor to be trusted as someone who could walk someone through something that was so big. Because I think back on so many of the entrepreneurs that we've worked with, it's like some of their biggest years in their business. I've been with people while their family have died, babies have been born, large scale sickness, large scale, life things, all of these pieces still happen. Life still lifes when you're an entrepreneur. And I think it's super interesting that you and I have kind of gotten to sit with people and heard the real. Oftentimes the other folks in our containers may hold a bit more of the business elements, but we've gotten the chance, particularly in the accountability space, to kind of sit with people through their stuff. And I always say, like, the biggest lesson I ever got was listening to entrepreneurs complain. Because my favorite thing, tell me where it hurts so that we can lean in and do something about it. But I learned, I feel like, and you tell me if you feel the same, I feel like I've gotten like a master's in business, but just from learning from other people while they're working their businesses.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So much there, and 1,000% agree. It's such a gift. It truly is. Like you said, it feels like the most sacred gift to be able to be that role in someone's life as they're on their entrepreneurial journey, which is a wild ass loop-de-loop roller coaster all over the place, right? Yeah. Most of the time it feels like your seatbelt's falling off and you're like hanging off the roller coaster. And it's just it feels like such an honor to be able to be in all of those moments, because the spaces we've worked in are lengthy containers. We're not just with a person for a few sessions. It's like we're with someone for at least a year, sometimes more. And so much happens in a year. And it's felt like, I feel like you're absolutely right. Like a master's in business. Like I feel like I have that just by witnessing, at this point, like well over probably 100 people go through their business journey and the behind the scenes. And like, it's also just, it's such a gift to see what goes on behind the scenes, because in this like social media world, we see that highlight reel and how everything is like picture perfect and we're all like making 100K months and like our life is great. And then you see the behind the scenes, the real, and it just like, we're all human. We're all going through the shit. We all have life to deal with, and business, as many people say, is like the most intense personal development journey you'll ever go on, because it brings all of your shit up to the surface to deal with all your insecurities, all your fears, all your doubts, all the, everything comes to the surface and gets triggered in some way or another. And that's like, just being able to support people through those phases. And also on the flip side, being able to know that like, okay, what I'm going through is normal. It's normal and we're all going to make it through it. Like that's also the thing that I've seen is like, everybody's made it through it. We're all going to make it through it. Even though it feels super mucky and like ugh in the moment, like I guarantee you're going to make it through it, because I've seen it time and time and time and time again. As long as you keep putting that one foot in front of the other, whatever that looks like, it might be the tiniest little step, but as long as you're taking a step, like you're going to get through it. So yeah, it feels like a gift to support people through that, and a gift to receive that wisdom that it's all good. It's all good, really, in the grand scheme of things.
The Osumare Learning Podcast is brought to you by two sponsors that are near and dear to our hearts, because we built them. First up, Business Cousins. Business Cousins is a collective of called to serve leaders who are building businesses that create impact that actually matters. We're about doing real good in the world, giving people the results they paid for, and having a damn good time doing it. If you're into running a business that you actually love, hanging out with smart and soulful folks while you do it, and being supported every step of the way, this may be the room for you. We host gatherings, workshops, and offer ongoing business development support that's as human as it is helpful. If you're interested, apply today at thebusinesscousin.com. Check us out at www.thebusinesscousin.com. And then there's the Author's Leverage. That's our studio for turning your body of work into powerful learning tools. Whether it's digital workbooks, private podcasts, or binge-worthy education content that helps you scale your impact without burning out, we specialize in transforming complex ideas into accessible, engaging learning experiences that your audience will actually use and implement. Our team of expert creators, instructional designers, and production specialists ensure that your wisdom reaches more people in the ways that truly resonate. If you're an expert, author, thought leader, sitting on brilliance, let us help you package it. Learn more at theauthorsleverage.com. That is theauthorsleverage.com. You are so right. You are so right. And the forgiveness, I think of like, I think that I'm like this big, or I think that I'm like, you know, like I'm doing terrible. And then you look around and you're like, actually, maybe I'm just on a journey. Look, I have evidence that 12 other people fell exactly where I've fallen, and they were able to get up. And, you know, just the general comfort of seeing people make millions of dollars with no infrastructure is so comforting to me. So comforting to me. I'm like, okay, it doesn't have to look like shiny social media to be profitable and happy, you know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All my like 8,000 Virgo placements in my chart are just like, oh, we don't have to be perfect. All right. We don't have to have the whole entire thing shiny and all put together before we step out and put ourselves out there. Yeah.
Look, that and that in and of itself, with that many Virgo placements, and the Virgo placements in me see the Virgo placements in you. It's been so soul nourishing, and I think that it's helped me build the kind of character that's going to be required for the entrepreneurial journey that I'm even going on, watching other people do really brave things. Parshal, I'm interested in you, in your kind of take in this also, because I know you and I are always having conversations about how entrepreneurship has really catalyzed a lot of, you know, personal development journey for you. How would you kind of think through how that's been in your entrepreneurial journey? Do you feel like it's taking you also on a personal development journey?
Absolutely. And for me, it's been close to 13, 14 years now of being in entrepreneurship, and business really has been being in business has been such an opener in so many ways. So, and it's funny too, I think for a period of time, I referred to the business as my dojo, because that's where I would go to, you know, do the thing, but also it just reveals so much that oftentimes might be not as prevalent when you are, you know, not to say that things don't come up if you're on a team, or if it's just different. Same stuff, things are still going to come up in your work. But for sure, being in business has really opened me up a lot. And I think to some extent has definitely helped me to see more of my own abilities and things of that nature, and to see the impossible. Because like you said, you too, and what you did for so many entrepreneurs and holding them through, you know, the ups and downs. It's like I kind of sort of had that, but
yeah,
even still, you know, there's so many lessons in that come up, right? When I look at different, for me, it was the cities I lived in. Each of those cities that I lived in, I was running a business, and who I was and how I was moving has just evolved over time. and business has just been through and through a big part of that for me.
And it's so funny that you say that, because I do think that's like one of the things that all three of us have in common kind of on this podcast is we have a deep love for entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurship journey, and we get it. Like, I think I always say that like business cousins and things of that nature are a love letter to the entrepreneurs, because there are very few people on the planet that I think have more ability to make the world the kind of world we want to live in than entrepreneurs. And there are very few people who are less resourced in being able to do that than entrepreneurs. It's like everybody is talking about boss queen slay and your next marketing plan, and no one is talking about coming home to your body. Nobody's talking about how you don't have a heart attack at 30 while you're boss queen slaying your way to your million. Like, there's not enough people having conversations about how you have great families and time off and the things that actually make a human while you're sacrificing a big part of your life to do good in the world. And I think it's part of why I know for me, I'm so dedicated to entrepreneurs and wrapping my arms around them as often and as much as I can, because I think that, you know, they're so, again, under-resourced and under-villaged. It's so interesting, Jennifer. You tell me if you feel this way. I remember I've been a coach I've been coaching since 2013. I've been walking people through specifically entrepreneurs, probably since that 2018-19 time when you and I met. And I have really felt like sometimes I'm the only person that my people are talking to about this. And they'll be in a group full of people. I don't, and like, one, the honor for the trust, but also like, I don't want that for us. I don't want that for us. Like, it takes a village to raise a child. I mean, are these businesses not also take a village to get into the world? I think human beingness requires support and love and somebody to have your back, you know, while you're kind of doing some of the bravest shit you've ever done in your life.
Oh my God. Yes. Highly agree with that. And yeah, it is, like you said, it's a super honor to be that space for people to come talk to. But if I'm the only space, or you're the only space that they're actually emoting those feelings and feeling those emotions and like letting the realness, letting the tears fall, letting like all of it come out, like, that just, it breaks my heart, because that means like, I mean, if I see them, you know, once or twice a month, like that means all the rest of the month they're holding that in. They're like probably not, you know, moving that energy in whatever way. And that's like just the detriment that does to our body, to our mental wellness, to just our overall wellness is like, it's such a detriment to us. So like having those more spaces where we can just be real, and you know, that's why I love Business Cousins. It's like it's a community where you can just bring the real, and there's several other, you know, communities I'm involved with too, and it's just like, it's such a deep breath to be able to go in those spaces and just show up like in the mess, if that's where I'm at, you know. And that's, yeah, again, that's just like the infrequency of the way that people entrepreneurs are able to like really talk about the real stuff. It means that there's so much time spent like just stuffing that shit down, and that is not good in so many ways. And it's going to affect your whole entire life. Not being connected in your body. Yeah. It affects everything.
That honestly brings me to this conversation about the come home to your body sessions. So one, y'all, these come home to your body sessions have been, again, oddly life-changing. And the reason why I say oddly is because I should have expected, anytime I'm in a room with Jennifer, I feel better. However, the simplicity of the exercises always has me go like, it's too simple. And then I do it and it is profound. Just the experience of an hour in my body. So, and I feel like all entrepreneurs, like we were just talking about, are holding so much stuff that we rarely make a moment to process that stuff. We're kind of just carrying it from week to week to week to week to week to week to week. You hope you have somebody like Jennifer and I that you're talking to. You hope there's 5 other people that you actually can have a real conversation with, and you're not just having to show your wins and how much money you made, right? You hope that there's some of those spaces, but for most of us, it's not the truth. And so it's like you're just stacking stuff and wondering why you've got so much fear and anxiety when it comes to visibility and stuff having to go with entrepreneurship. So Jennifer, give us an idea of what the Come Home to Your Body sessions are and why it was something that you felt really called to offer, particularly to entrepreneurs in the space.
Yeah. Oh, I I love these come home to your body sessions because I think that this is like, it's the missing piece. It's a glaring missing piece. It's like a huge missing puzzle piece in the puzzle. And it's one that most people are not even aware of. They don't even know that they're missing that piece. They don't even know what is possible when you have that piece in place. After, having so many sessions with so many entrepreneurs, it's like, that's where I see them struggle the most, is when they're in their head and they're like over analyzing everything. They're thinking too much. They're trying to force something. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to, it's all very heady, very like ego, brain, mental energy, like trying to figure this stuff out. And I just see how much pain that causes, how much just pain, anguish, frustration, overwhelm, sadness, guilt, shame, all the things, like you name it, like all the full spectrum of those emotions. And that is so preventable. Like, it's so preventable by just literally doing those simple things. And I think that's something that I keep coming back to, and there's so much of my brain that wants to make it more complicated and like, oh, we need to have this whole this whole practice in place in order to like shift things. And I'm like, no, what my soul came here to teach people is the simplicity of this work of like being in your body. Like, we literally have access to everything that we need to completely shift our state in the moment, like within a few minutes, which literally, every single time I experience it or I lead someone through it, every single time it like literally blows my mind every single time. Just, our bodies are so miraculous. And I have been drawn to the body my whole entire life. Like, I, became a massage therapist when I was 19. I got my first massage when I was 16, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I'm doing with my life. The body has always fascinated me, and it's just like, it's so amazing what our bodies are capable of. Also, with my journey with, partying and addiction and all of that, like what my body has put up with, and I am still alive and kicking, like my body's still rocking with me. That blows me away on the daily basis. Like, our bodies are so resilient, and our bodies truly are our best friend. Like, that is the relationship I always come back to, is like treating my body like my BFF, because there is no other relationship in our life that we have from our first breath to our last breath. Like, if you think about it, there's literally nobody, not our parents, our partners, nobody. Like, our body is the only one that is with us from that first breath to the last breath. And what a special, sacred relationship that is, that we have. Like, I have full body chills just thinking about that. Like, it's something that is so beautiful that we have access to, that it's a true tragedy that we are so conditioned out of our bodies from such a young age, because, oh my gosh, what's available here is just beyond. And something I've been thinking a lot about lately is there's those studies where like they say we only use 5% of what our brain is capable of, right? No, like, what about our body? Nobody's even mentioned that. Like, what percent of our body? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's only for like this little part of our body that we're paying attention to and doing these studies around, right? Like, if we bring our whole body online, like, what is possible there? Like, that just like makes my brain explode. Like, yeah, I don't know where you want to go with on this trajectory.
No, but I mean, like that, okay, one, I think that is so incredibly profound, and you're so right. And again, I think about it as an entrepreneur, most of us feel like our job is to figure things out, where really our job is to be led really well. Be a really great empty vessel for the intuition that wants to come through. Be open to serving our communities really, really well, and be compensated really well to be able to do that work in a way that is in right relationship with the work. So many of us are circumventing our body's wisdom because we don't even know how to be in our body. I literally know you and talk to you on a regular basis. And it wasn't until I started going to the Come Home to Your Body sessions that I was like, oh girl, you're not in your body. Like, and I thought I was like, oh, I totally, and then it's like 5 minutes into the intuitive movement, and I'm like, shit, like, oh, like, because you just are running and kind of moving through things. Parsha, I'm also interested in hearing from you, because I know you and I are always having like the debriefs after the Come Home to Your Body sessions, because it just is like so simple, the practice. How has the Come Home to Your Body sessions that you've attended supported you kind of through your entrepreneur week, or even just your relationship with your body supported you through your entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's so funny because, like you said, Jennifer, like it really is the simple things. And this come home to your body being, for sure something that happened once a week, but that anchor has been a lot in terms of, in a good way, a lot in the sense of like, there's so much, to your point, Portia, just like I'm not even aware fully of my body. And for someone like myself who is a generator, like my sacral is a big part of, how I am designed to thrive. And so this practice of being in my body and doing that has actually helped me to check in more around that for myself, asking the questions. Does this feel good to do right now? How does this sound to me right now? And it's just helping me and it's just going inside, right, in order to land at what I'm being led to do. And so for me right now, I would definitely say that my level of trust in myself has opened up a little bit more. Trust in just being open in that because for some reason, I think as someone who's also very much into hard work and like not afraid to do hard work.
It is a Capricorn sun.
There's this like really, it's like, I was just telling Portia, I was like, sometimes I feel like to be so in my body and to be so liberated in that respect is like reckless or something. Like it's too freeing, and I don't know what, to an extent. So that's something for me, just been an open inquiry. Why about that? Like, why is that happening? Why am I experiencing that? So it's been for me just a big opener, and I can see even as a business owner how that shit is tying to my money, how it's tying to,
because you better believe it does.
So it's like all these pieces that are being illuminated now that I think that going forward, my path for me is for sure illuminating that I have to, and it's going to be more aligned for me and more sustainable for me, especially as my body is changing. I'm getting old, all these things to, start to tap into the real, of myself.
Parshell just said a word. Parshell said a whole lot of words. One, if you didn't catch it and pick it up, generators, we're talking about your human design. Folks who are of the generator variety, generators, man-gens, our wisdom is cut off when we're disassociated. And that's most of us on the planet. I know that it's been allowed for me, is I'm like, how come I can't hear my yes? It's like, girl, because you're not in your body. So there's, right, we can start right there, right? And how much human design can allow us to be able to make really great decisions for ourselves and for our businesses. And Parsha, I love so much about what you said of like, so how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? If you're showing up in your body, like, well, what if I get too free? You better know that's showing up in your money. You better know that's showing up in your business. You better know that's showing up everywhere, right? And that's part of why we love entrepreneurship as a personal development journey, is because it's going to offer you opportunities to meet your edges in ways that you may haven't in your normal life, but not as frequent as most of the people I know who are entrepreneurs are meeting our edges on a 7-day-a-week basis. And not saying that you can't do that when you're not an entrepreneur. There are lots of folks who are meeting that edge on a 7-day-a-week basis that are not entrepreneurs. But I think that journey naturally puts you there. And I do think it's a disservice if you don't pay attention to it, because you'll just think something's wrong with you. You'll just convince yourself that something's wrong with you. And really, maybe it's just that there's wisdom inside your body that you're not slowing down enough to hear. Maybe it's just that if you spend some more time allowing your intuition to help you lead and not just your brain to help figure it out, it may get easier for you to give yourself permission to be on the path that you're aligned into. Y'all, again, I love this conversation. These Come Home to Your Body sessions, Jennifer leads every single week. They are part of her Inner Rhythm membership. Jennifer is on our Business Cousin Support Squad. And every single week leads these Come Home to Your Body sessions inside of Squad. But Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. I want to give us a chance to let us know, because I know at the end of this conversation, people are going to be like, girl, how do I get Jennifer into my life? How do I get her in my life for the business? How do I get her in my life personally? So tell us where folks can find you, and tell us kind of what your offerings are looking like these days and how folks can get to work with you if they desire to.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. I am just loving this conversation. We could literally talk for probably 5 more hours on this.
You have to come back. This is why you have to come back.
Sure. Part 2 coming soon. Yeah. Thank you so much. So you can find me on Instagram. I'm at Heartshine Alchemy. I'm assuming there's like show notes and whatever. You'll put these links in there. Heartshine Alchemy on Instagram, Jennifer Bohn on Facebook, and my offerings coming up. So I've got the Inner Rhythm membership. I've got 2 ways that you can work with me. So the Inner Rhythm membership, which is, it's so much fun. It's in its beginning creations, launching this month. And it's something that came through to me, circling back to using your intuition to create in your business. That is something that came through as I had just finished a breathwork session. Like I had gone through a breathwork session with myself and I was in this just open space. Like that is when the ideas flow through. That is when the inspired ideas flow through for me. And I've noticed with many people that I've worked with, like those, when you're in those, that body tapped in place, when you're in that, in your body and you're tapped into that wisdom, like that's where your soul's, you know, those inspired ideas are going to come through. And those are the things, like take action on those, because those are the things like that are they're gonna run. So Inner Rhythm membership came through for me. I am so very tied to nature, and I just love the cyclical, like Mama Earth is like my greatest mentor in this life, truly. Yeah. There's so much every time I connect with any piece of nature, like there's so much wisdom there. And so I just really honor and have so much respect for the cycles of this earth that we live on. And I have so much respect for the cycles of our body, like our own body. And our, you know, a lot of my work is around like finding that your own unique inner rhythm. So what is that? What is your inner rhythm? Not the world's rhythm, not the culture's rhythm, not who you know, people said you should be rhythm. Like not dancing to other people's drum, right? Like dance to the beat of your own body's drum. So finding what that flow looks like and what that rhythm looks like on a day-to-day basis, on an hour-to-hour basis, honestly, like checking in with your body, your rhythm changes all of the time. And so also just like with the working with entrepreneurs and like, what is the rhythm of your business and how does that flow with your personal rhythm? How is that flowing with the seasonal rhythm? So just bringing all of these pieces together and like, how is that intricately like weaving together for you in your own unique way? Because that's where it's at. It's not about like following all the protocols and the, you know, all the things. There's so much information out there on how you should run your business. And I think the aligned way to run your business and run your life, really everything in your life, is through your own inner rhythm. So the Inner Rhythm membership, we dive deep into all of that. We have different topics every month that we dive into. There's the weekly Come Home to Your Body sessions where you can tap into your body through super simple techniques and practices. And then I do a monthly longer embodiment gathering, and then I do some seasonal gatherings as well. So that's one way. And then I also have the Business Buddies Pass, that one's a tongue twister. Business Buddies Pass that Portia and I have together, where we're really just supporting you in finding your business's rhythm. Like, what is that rhythm with your business that feels good for you and aligns with you? And then bringing in, you know, everything that we've been talking about in this conversation around just holding you through the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
I love, and obviously you guys can see why Jennifer and I love working together. And we've literally been on teams together almost since the moment that we met, because we love working together so much. So the idea of this Business Buddy Pass, working name, we're still looking for a name, but we're calling this the Business Buddy Pass, is so fun to me because it is that, right? It's like, how do we set you and your business's rhythm every single season? Because, you know, I love a seasonal plan for the girls who know. Every single month and every single week. And then how do we check in with you on that rhythm to see kind of what it actually is moving like? Because I really do think for a lot of us as entrepreneurs, there's the leadership work, but then there's also the like, what do I need to keep doing to make sure that this business stays working? What do I need to keep doing to keep the lights on? That has to also be set to a rhythm. And if you can make it something that's already kind of rolling, you don't have to think about it every single minute of every day. You don't have to wonder if you forgot something. You don't have to wonder if at some point your taxes are going to get done. You don't have to wonder, right. You know, at some point, like, oh, did I do that offer? Is my marketing working? Like, you've got somebody to check in with you to go like, hey, what did we plan last season? How is it working? What do we want to do this month? And what does it look like? And I think Jennifer and I love getting to wrap our arms around entrepreneurs in this way. And I'm so excited to fall into Jennifer's ethos around inner rhythm and getting to be a part of bringing that embodiment to it as well, because that's been a piece I've for sure been missing. I'm stoked that we're finally kind of getting our chance to do that together. And I'm also just stoked that we've gotten to a place with both of our businesses where I feel like we're both doing shit that lights our soul on fire. And as two generators, we won!
We won! Award. 100%.
It's again, Jennifer, I love you so. Thank you so much for the human that you are on this planet, for the human that you are in my life, for the work, the thankless work that you do for hundreds, really on the shy side, could be at this point thousands. If you think about the groups, girl, if you add up the Facebook group,
that's true. That's
thousands of people who you have held and loved and cared for. Thank you for who you be. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for sharing a bit of you on the Osumare Learning Podcast. It was a blast to have you, my darling.
Thank you so much, both of you. This was wild and amazing and so much fun. Love you both.
This means you have to come back. I may have I have an invitation already for you to come back to the podcast. So
you know I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Good. We would love to have you back. Thank you so much for listening to the Osumare Learning Podcast. We will see you next time. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen and consider what was shared today. Thanks to our guests for sharing. Thank you to Parshell for holding us in this container. And thank you for listening. We hope that something that was shared today sparks a new idea, inspires a new action, or creates something that you're excited to share with your community.
And thanks to Portia for leading this wonderful conversation and for bringing the vibe. Make sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and hit us up on LinkedIn or Instagram. We want to hear what this sparks for you. So do us a favor, drop a review or leave a comment with what you thought.
All right, friends. We will see you next time on the Osumare Learning Podcast. I'm already looking forward to it.
Me too.